first thing powerful people understand about disrespect is this. It's not personal, it's positional. Most people react emotionally when they feel disrespected. They get angry. They defend themselves. They explain. And in doing so, they reveal something dangerous. Their position can be shaken. Machiavelli knew that power is never emotional. The moment you take disrespect personally, you surrender control of the situation. Disrespect is almost always a test of boundaries, a test of reactions, a test of how easily you can be moved. Powerful people recognize this instantly. They don't ask, "Why would they treat me like this?" They ask, "What behavior did I allow that made this possible?" That shift in thinking changes everything. When you respond emotionally, you confirm the test worked. The other person learns they can influence your mood, your tone, and your actions. That's leverage. Powerful people never give leverage away for free. Instead of reacting, they observe. They watch the tone, the timing, the intention. Because disrespect reveals more about the other person than it ever does about you. Machiavelli warned that those who rush to defend their honor often expose weakness. True authority does not argue it's worth it, assumes it. This is why powerful people stay calm when disrespected. Calm does not mean passive. It means controlled. They don't correct immediately. They don't escalate. They don't explain. They let the moment sit. That pause creates discomfort for the other person. Because now the test has no clear outcome. Did it work? Did it fail? What comes next? Uncertainty flips the power dynamic. This is the first move. Detach emotionally. The moment you stop reacting as if your identity is under attack, you regain control. Disrespect loses its sting because it no longer touches your self-worth. From there, every response becomes strategic, not emotional. And that is the foundation of how powerful people handle disrespect. They don't feel offended. They feel informed. And information is power. Powerful people don't handle disrespect with anger or explanations. They handle it with structure. Most people think the correct response to disrespect is to confront it verbally to defend themselves, correct the other person, or demand an apology. Machiavelli understood why this fails. Emotion invites debate. Debate invites escalation. Escalation turns a small offense into a power struggle. Powerful people avoid all three. Instead of reacting emotionally, they adjust the rules of interaction. They don't argue about tone. They don't discuss intention. They don't ask for understanding. They change what happens next. Disrespect appears, gives access changes. Boundary crossed gives engagement ends. Tone shifts gives opportunity disappears. No speeches, no warnings, no threats, just cause and effect. Psychologically, this is devastatingly effective because humans learn faster through consequences than through conversation. You can argue with words. You can't argue with outcomes. Machiavelli believed that authority is strongest when it feels inevitable, not enforced. Structure creates inevitability. When someone realizes their behavior instantly alters the environment around you, they adapt. Not because they fear you, but because they understand the system. This is why powerful people often seem cold. They're not cold, they're consistent. Consistency removes ambiguity. Ambiguity is where disrespect lives. Another key difference. Powerful people don't rush to resolve disrespect. Resolution implies negotiation. Negotiation implies equality of position. Power does not negotiate standards. It enforces them quietly. This is why their response often feels subtle. A meeting doesn't happen. A message goes unanswered. An invitation disappears. Nothing dramatic. Nothing emotional. But the lesson is learned. Machiavelli warned that punishment should be swift and quiet, so it's felt but not resented. Structure does exactly that. When disrespect meets structure instead of emotion, behavior changes fast, and if it doesn't, the relationship ends cleanly, without conflict. That's the second rule. Powerful people don't argue with disrespect. They outgrow it. Powerful people never threaten consequences. They apply them. When someone disrespects them, they don't say, "If you do that again." They don't issue ultimatums. They don't try to sound tough. They simply reduce access. Machiavelli understood that distance is one of the most effective tools of power. Proximity is privilege. When privilege is removed, the message is unmistakable. Access is not emotional. It is earned. Powerful people know that disrespect survives on familiarity. When someone feels too comfortable, they begin to test limits. The solution is not confrontation, it's recalibration. So access changes, replies slow down, meetings shorten, opportunities vanish. No explanation is given. Psychologically, this is powerful because it forces reflection. The other person feels the loss before they understand it. Loss creates awareness faster than correction. Machiavelli would say that men are moved more by what they lose than by what they are told. Reducing access activates that instinct immediately. Another key point: powerful people do this calmly. No visible anger, no emotional withdrawal, no resentment, just adjustment. This is what makes it effective. The other person can't argue, they can't defend, they can't accuse. There is nothing to react to, only a new reality. And that reality teaches them something important. Disrespect costs something tangible. If behavior improves, access may return. If it doesn't, the relationship fades out. Either way, power remains intact. This is why powerful people rarely get stuck in ongoing disrespect. They don't stay in environments that tolerate it. They don't explain their standards. They live them. That's the third rule. Disrespect is handled not with words, but with distance, quietly, decisively, without negotiation. Powerful people do not warn repeatedly. They correct once. Machiavelli understood that repetition weakens authority. The moment you explain the same boundary twice, you signal that it is negotiable. And once something is negotiable, it will be tested again and again. So powerful people are precise. If they address disrespect verbally, it happens one time only. Clear, brief, emotionless. Don't speak to me that way. That's not acceptable. We won't continue like this. No lecture, no backstory, no emotional charge. Psychologically, this works because clarity removes confusion. The line is visible. The expectation is unmistakable. The other person knows exactly where the limit is. What comes next is where most people fail. If the behavior happens again, powerful people do not repeat themselves. They act. Access changes. Opportunity disappears. Engagement ends. Machiavelli warned that mercy repeated becomes contempt. The same is true for boundaries. Repeating yourself teaches others that consequences are optional. Powerful people never allow that lesson to form. They understand something critical. The first correction teaches awareness. The second correction teaches disrespect. That's why there is no second correction. This doesn't mean they are harsh. It means they are consistent. Consistency is what creates reputation. Once people know that a single warning is all they get, they become careful. They self-correct. They adjust their behavior without being policed, and if they don't, they remove themselves from your orbit. Either outcome strengthens your position. Machiavelli would say this is how authority stabilizes itself through predictability, not force. Powerful people don't argue. They don't chase compliance. They don't escalate. They let consequences speak. And once people realize you never repeat yourself, disrespect becomes rare. Because no one wants to test a boundary that actually holds. Powerful people understand a dangerous illusion. Respect cannot be earned by being liked. Most people, when disrespected, instinctively try to repair the situation by softening themselves. They become more agreeable, more accommodating, more pleasant. They think kindness will restore respect. Machiavelli knew this was backward. Approval-seeking invites contempt. The moment someone senses you need their approval, they realize they have leverage over you. And leverage is rarely used gently. Powerful people refuse this dynamic entirely. They are polite but not pliable, calm but not compliant, respectful but not submissive. They do not adjust their standards to keep harmony. They allow tension to exist. Psychologically, this is powerful because tension reveals hierarchy. The person who can tolerate discomfort without collapsing holds the higher position. This is why powerful people do not rush to smooth things over. They don't chase closure. They don't seek emotional alignment. They let the other person feel the gap. Machiavelli warned that those who depend on goodwill are ruled by it. Power comes from self-alignment, not popularity. When you stop chasing approval, something changes. People speak more carefully. They test less often. They respect the risk of crossing you. Not because you're hostile, but because you're not afraid of friction. Another key insight: powerful people do not confuse kindness with weakness. They can be generous, but only when it's chosen, not coerced. This distinction matters. Kindness from strength builds respect. Kindness from fear destroys it. So powerful people choose the first. They accept that some people may dislike them. They accept awkwardness. They accept silence. Because they know this truth: being respected by many requires being liked by few. Machiavelli would say that authority is built by those willing to stand alone briefly in order to stand securely later. That's the fifth rule. Powerful people never trade their standards for acceptance. They let approval follow respect and never the other way around. Powerful people know one unbreakable rule: behavior only changes when it has a cost. If disrespect is free, it will repeat. Most people respond to disrespect with words, complaints, arguments, emotional reactions. None of those create cost. They create noise. Machiavelli understood that men are shaped by consequences, not conversations. So powerful people design friction. Nothing dramatic. Nothing explosive. Just loss. Loss of access. Loss of opportunity. Loss of proximity. Loss of influence. When disrespect appears, something valuable disappears. And here's what makes it effective: they don't announce the cost. Announcements invite resistance. Silence creates inevitability. Psychologically, this works because humans are wired for loss aversion. People feel loss more intensely than gain. When someone realizes disrespect leads to loss, even small loss, they adjust instinctively. Powerful people never punish emotionally. They remove benefits structurally. The tone changes. The collaboration stops. The door closes. No lecture follows. This creates a clean cause and effect loop. Disrespect gives consequence. Once that loop is established, behavior either corrects itself or the relationship ends. Both outcomes favor power. Machiavelli warned that punishment must be certain, not severe. Certainty teaches faster than intensity. This is why powerful people rarely need to escalate. The system does the work for them. And here's the critical part: the cost must be consistent. If you sometimes enforce it and sometimes ignore it, you teach people how to gamble with you. Power never allows gambling. So powerful people apply the same response every time: calm, immediate, non-negotiable. That consistency builds a reputation. People begin to self-regulate around you. They adjust their tone before you do anything. They think twice before crossing lines, not because they fear you, because they understand the cost is real. That's the sixth rule: powerful people don't ask for respect. They make disrespect unprofitable. This is the final difference between powerful people and everyone else. They stay consistent when it costs them something. Anyone can enforce boundaries when it's easy. Anyone can stay calm when they're winning. Anyone can demand respect when they have leverage. Powerful people do it when they don't. Machiavelli understood that inconsistency destroys authority faster than disrespect ever could. The moment people see that your standards bend under pressure, loneliness, convenience, guilt, or opportunity, they stop believing in them. And once belief is gone, respect collapses. That's why powerful people never make exceptions out of emotion. If disrespect costs access today, it costs access tomorrow. If a line is crossed once, it's handled the same way every time. No special cases. No, just this once. No emotional overrides. Psychologically, this creates certainty. People don't wonder where they stand with you. They know. Certainty removes testing. Testing is where disrespect is born. This consistency often feels lonely at first. You may lose people. You may lose opportunities. You may feel isolated. Powerful people accept this cost because they understand a deeper truth. Short-term loss protects long-term authority. Machiavelli would say that those who fear temporary discomfort invite permanent weakness. When you stay consistent long enough, something changes. People adapt. The wrong people fall away. The right ones move closer with respect already built in. You no longer need to defend yourself. You no longer need to explain. Your behavior has already done the talking. That's how powerful people handle disrespect in the long run. Not with anger, not with ego, not with endless confrontation, but with calm, structured, unbreakable consistency. And once that reputation is established, disrespect rarely reaches you at all, because everyone already knows the outcome.